Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Sonic Movie Show, the only show that covers everything Sonic, everything movies, everything. It's the only show. We're the only show. My name is Ethan, and with me here to discuss the Sonic Central 2024 recap is the one, the only, Shadow's number one fan himself, Devin. How are you doing?
Action-packed.
Oh, that's right. Izika made that quote.
He did.
Yes, he did. Devin, it's been a while since we had one of these Sonic Centrals.
Has
a
it,
year
though?
and a half, by my count.
Really? Honestly, watching this, I was like, I swear to God, we had one 3 months ago. I swear, I was dead set until you sent me the list of last year's, and I'm like, no, that was 3 months ago, though. Like, that's someone's
It was
lying.
3 months and then a year. Because I swear these were in like the May, June-ish era time, and I'm like, oh, I guess they weren't doing one this year. And then nope, lo and behold, they're doing one the same day that what was it? There was a Tekken talk. There was 2 hours of Heihachi Mishima. I'm as the number one fan of Heihachi. I was really excited that. And then there was a state of play, that we actually streamed here on the channel. You can go ahead and check that out. But we're gonna talk all about what happened in the Sonic Central, the longest Sonic Central to date.
Is it?
Yes.
27 minutes, was it? Wow.
Yeah.
It was. They've gotten longer.
Yes, they've gotten. The first one was 12 and a half. Then the second one was 10 and a half. And then last year's was just under 20 minutes. And this one is just under 28 minutes. So, that's they're getting longer. And
That means the next one's going to be like an hour 10. It's going to be a fucking movie.
and if they want to do that, I think I have some notes that I might give them. But overall, we know what we're kind of expecting going into this based off the stuff from before. We're like, unless anything changed, the very minimum, we're going to see some mobile game crap. We're going to see some merchandise that is not for us, but for kids, which is fine.
Except for King Ice.
And you saw that giant King Ice statue of Sonic. I'm like, we're going to get that. And then the worst part, Devin, like a day or two after it aired, they share on Twitter, oh yeah, now we have more King Ice stuff, including Silver the Hedgehog and Blaze the Cat. And I'm like, why wasn't this in the thing? You say Sonic fans of all ages. I don't care about the toys. Give me bling.
Give
As
me
the
bling,
number
so
one
when
rap fan on the planet here, you can
when
tell.
I walk into Sonic Movie 3 opening night, I want people to know.
Oh my God,
where I
imagine
stand,
wearing one of each of them. There's like 12 of them at this point, just all jangling around.
I feel like that would legitimately be really heavy, though. Like, I feel like you might get neck soreness.
I feel like each of those is
day.
about as heavy as a golf ball, which we will also get into on this episode as well. But yeah, we kind of knew what to expect. There's a game to talk about. They won't talk about any of the movies, which is in our experience kind of true. Which still still kind of true. We'll get to that. But overall, after our expectations, now that we've seen it, Devin, I want to know what you thought of the whole shebang. What did you think about Sonic Central 2024?
Honestly, this was probably the same thoughts I had for 2023, which, like I said, felt like 3 months ago, where I keep asking the question, who is their target audience? And like I don't feel like I'm closer to the answer at this point, because I feel like it is for the diehard fans, but the stuff that they're selling is not specifically for the diehard fans. You know what I mean? Like, I thought that's what this would be about. It's like no different than the PlayStation Showcase. People who are really watching that when that comes out are people who are interested in PlayStation, the products, the games, what new thing are they going to announce here? Because the average person, even the average gamer maybe even, they'll just wait to see it in their Black Friday brochure that they get in November. Be like, oh yeah, there's a new Sonic game coming out. Okay, yeah, my son will like that. Or they see it on YouTube when they log onto YouTube or whatever, and they see, oh, the new so-and-so game trailer. Cool. Let me check that out. Like, they don't even know anything about the state of play. You know what I mean? Like, and I know like a lot of people do watch the state of play, but like I said, there's a lot of diehard PlayStation fans out there. And I saw that the Sonic Central on YouTube itself, the full video, it was around 680K, which I think is a pretty good number for what I would feel like a Sonic Central stream would be. I didn't look at the other ones. Maybe I should have done that to compare in viewership to see if maybe it's
I bet
going
the
up or
first
down.
one probably has the most, because it's like, oh, what could this be?
Yeah. But of course they, like Sony or whatnot, or will take clips of it, take the actual, like the trailer we have up here on the YouTube version if you're watching it, of Sonic 6 Shadow Generations, the story kind of teaser. They'll put that up separately. You know what I mean? Because they know not everyone's going to want to watch a 27-minute video of just other stuff. But I keep going back to this. It was like, who is this for? Because if it's for the diehard Sonic fans, I feel like that's not really what all this stuff is. A lot of this stuff is just like, hey, maybe you like this other game. Well, Sonic's in it now. Which is weird. I'm like, that's for people who like that game and maybe like Sonic.
Right.
Maybe they're hoping there's like 10 people who are watching and you're like, you know what, fuck it. I'm going to buy 2 Point Museum so I can put the Sonic statue in.
Last time or the time before, it was 2 Point Hospital. Like, yeah, there's Sonic stuff in that. It's like,
but it's nothing like, it's not like, hey, you're building a museum in Green Hill Zone. It's like,
here's the Natural Science and History Museum, and there's a shadow statue next to dinosaur. What?
Yeah. So I'm like, who is that for?
Game, not this game.
But like, who is that really for? Like, really? And like, I get like you don't have one target audience when you make these kind of things, but I really don't know who the audience is, because half the stuff, like I said, either is very specific merchandise or a specific tie-in to another game.
Here's my thing. The way we've described it thus far, God bless. The way we describe Sonic Central just as an entire brand right now so far has been like, okay, this is everything Sonic that they have to show us for a year or whatever, right? And every time I walk away from this being like, I don't really have that much. Which is different than, like, here's the big comparison. Here's the big analogy, big metaphor, big comparison to make here, right? This year, and they started this year, I think in, like, March, Fearless, the Year of Shadow, right? That's their whole thing. Cool. For the most part, that has been nothing. It's been like a road trip. They showed a montage. Oh, they took it on the road and they made the bike.
They took it to Formula One. The people who are at Formula One, and the one in Miami specifically, are well off to rich people.
Right. They're 45 and up, and they make fun of people who would like Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah, because I know the prices on these tickets, by the way, because I tried to go to the Vegas one last year, and it was like thousands of dollars, and I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm good. I don't love it that much.
Right.
My mom actually went with her boyfriend to Italy because it was cheaper to go to the Italian GP than it was in America. So they went to Italy to go do that a couple weeks ago.
Wow. I would love to go to the Monaco Grand Prix, by the way. That always seems like that's a fun time. But compare,
I think the Europe ones look gorgeous.
So far, Fearless Year Shadow is them basically being like, okay, the Sonic movie 3, it features Shadow heavily, obviously. He's like the main draw of that particular movie compared to the other two movies, part of this trilogy so far. And yes, we're making a new remaster Sonic Generations that has this gigantic Shadow like attachment to it. It's, by the way, it's kind of weird that I've seen like almost no marketing of the Sonic Generations remaster part of the game, which I get it. I'd rather see the new stuff, obviously, but like remind folks that there's like another game in there as well. But anyway, those two things. Okay, so we might as well try to make a year out of this. Compare this to, and I know this is not fair because this is a company that just does this shit a lot better. 2013 was the year of Luigi, Devin. And goddamn it, Nintendo put Luigi in so many things. You really felt like people meme about it, like it was his year because like it was the 25th anniversary of the arcade game Mario Bros, which Luigi was his first part in. So that was the 25th year of him being around at that point, if that makes sense. And so Luigi's in this, and Luigi's in that, and Luigi's in this, and Luigi's in that, and that was like cool. It was like there was actual things. This Fearless Year of Shadow has been like, we have a couple things at the end of the year, and let's just make like, you draw art for us, and we'll put it on our socials kind of thing. And this Sonic Central is very similar in the fact that I look at it and I'm like, oh, you don't have anything. I think last year we posed the question, do they still need to do this every year? They feel like they need to. The fact that it is still the same two guys. It's Ivo, who's the global chief brand officer of the Sonic brand, and Izuka, who's in charge of the Sonic franchise. Like, I get it. They're very important to the brand, but it's still them coming on? It's still them coming on? And
I mean, to be fair, that Jeff Fowler did make an appearance at the end, which I was not expecting, but I'll say that's one cool thing I liked about it. I was like, okay, Jeff Fowler was in it, was not expecting that.
I don't think he was expecting it either. The way it sounded, he was rushed. But
yeah, I mean, like, I feel like this is when you have they kind of, I mean, we'll kind of go through each thing, but I wanted to quickly mention, just for the sake of what you're talking about, like, yeah, what's the point of this when it just feels like a bunch of like just stuff that could have been an email. I hate to use an office joke, but just like,
yeah,
that's what it feels like. I'm like, you could just advertise the Roblox Metal Sonic fight in an email with the Sonic Hedgehog newsletter that goes out every month. Like, I don't think it needs to
or
be
in a way
this.
that's directly to the
like
Roblox fans.
If your goal is to target the diehard fans, what's coming up? That's probably the biggest deal. Maybe even bigger than the new Sonic X Shadow game coming out. It's the movie. Get the cast to do a sit down for 10 minutes and just talk about the movie. Like, do a fun Q&A. That's what half of this should have been. Half of this should have been tied to the movie. I'll give them a little credit just because they did more than I thought they were gonna do with at the end there with Jeff Fowler.
Yeah,
he did kind of break down a little bit about the kind of story or what the goal is with the movie, which we didn't get from, I feel like, the trailer fully. But he kind of confirmed some things, which we will talk about in a future episode, I'm sure.
Yeah.
About predictions for the movie. But, like, I wanted more. Like, I wanted more of, like, I want to know what the cast thought about filming the movie. Like, I know some people think it's cheesy or whatever, but, like, I kind of like that fun marketing, like, Hollywood red carpet stuff where it's, right before the opening, the first 2 weeks, they're going on, Wired magazine, they're going on Hollywood Reporter, doing, these kind of stuff. Like, this is their opportunity to, like, even just bring in, I don't know, Jeff Fowler, Ben Schwartz, and Jim Carrey in a room together, and they riff for 10 minutes.
And, like,
something.
Most people don't care about that, but the super fans of the thing that they came to see would care about that, right?
Yeah,
like, they would really like that.
Sonic X Shadow. It could have been them playing Sonic X Shadow.
Yep. And then talking about the movie. There's a hint at that kind of setup when they cut, and we'll talk about, like you said, everything in particular in the order, but like the DC Comics thing, like all of a sudden there's this interviewer lady interviewing Ivo, and it felt weirdly as if it was supposed to be a part of something more. It wasn't really. You could kind of tell.
Maybe it was part of DC Fandom or whatever that got canceled or something.
Well, yeah. You know what I mean? Where it's like, okay, cool. That's the setup. Like, I am loath to be one to throw a stone while existing in a glass house. Okay, I get this. Neither you nor myself are like the exuding charisma experts. But Ivo and Izuka, if I didn't know who Izuka was, I'm like, who is this guy? Oh, he's in charge of the Sonic team and charge of, like, the franchise. Cool. And I can see Ivo because he's in charge of the brand of Sonic, so most of the shit's probably stuff he has his fingers in, like the merch and licensing to this and that and the Roblox thing.
He at least approves stuff.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Like, I get him wanting to be a part of it because, god damn it, if this is all about the shit I'm involved in, then yes, I'm going to do that. You know what I mean? But, like, what if Roger Craig Smith and Mike Pollock, who's Dr. Eggman and Roger Craig Smith is Sonic, what if they did it? What if you just had the people who you literally pay money to be charismatic in your characters be themselves, you know what I mean, and do it? And, like, yeah, of course, then Pie in the Sky, the movie actor is also doing that, like you said. That would be cool as well. But, like, you have Roger Craig Smith as basically a brand ambassador. He kind of is like Charles Martinet, who is literally a brand ambassador. He no longer does the voice. He's been kind of retired in that, and he's now goes around spreading the good word of Mario, like he's one of Jesus' disciples. Yeah. Just funny to me. But, like, Roger Craig Smith does that for free himself on Twitter. He loves talking about Sonic to people. Have him be your host. You know what I mean?
And a lot of the actors from the movie, like Lee Majub, I think that's how you pronounce his last name. Sorry if I butchered it. I don't say it often enough. Agent Stone, actor.
We don't say it enough, actually.
Yeah, we don't say enough, and we love him. Agent Stone is actor, right? Like, he's always, like, retweeting stuff on Twitter, like, fan art of Agent Stone or just Sonic stuff in general. Like,
Get him in here.
Get him in here. Like, god damn it.
Absolutely.
But, yeah, anybody from the movie would have been... Like, we got Jeff Fowler, but, like, I wanted, like, him in a room or, like... And I get, like, directors are busy, so, like, okay, next person down. You couldn't get Ben Schwartz to even zoom in. Like, even the freaking Nintendo thing when they did the Mario movie somehow felt more like they were trying to market the movie.
They got Chris Kratzel talking to his phone while he was high on vacation. Be like, yeah, I love
fucking
Goomba.
Hawaii or whatever.
You know what I mean? And oh man, this was before Jack Black canceled himself. But like that was fun to see him, and just a shock of like, why is Seth Rogen or whatever his name is Donkey Kong? Well,
Yeah,
at
Seth
least
Rogen.
he's interested in this.
But yeah, I don't know. Like, I'll give him credit for at least trying some things. I think it would have been a lot worse of a presentation if Sonic movie was just another teaser. Like, I like the kind of him, Jeff Fowler, talking about it. And I did like the Chow and stuff. So I don't think it was bad, but I just wanted more. And I feel like it should have been the main thing. If this is only happening once a year and your goal is to make probably a lot more money doing that than the game you're going to sell in November, maybe push that more. I don't know. Like,
also, not for nothing, they didn't show anything new for Sonic X Shadow Generations besides this, opening cutscene kind of thing or whatever, right? I guess there's multiple scenes from the story. That is new, I get it. But, like, hours later at the PlayStation State of Play, you showed something actual new that we didn't know about.
That was the craziest thing. Like, why was that? Why was that there?
You collected a paycheck from Sony for that. Maybe? Or did you pay them? I actually don't know for some of these times. Because I know all the Keeley shit you have to pay for unless you're like an indie game and it's like, no, you don't need to pay because we get it. You know what I mean? Like, the big boys have to pay, the little boys don't have to pay. There's
or if
that
you're Kojima, you get probably a free plane ride from Japan.
And Jeff Keighley services him in the back afterwards as well. Because he's got a weird hard-on for that man. Jeff, there are other great creators too. We all love Kojima. You can love other people as well. He won't denounce Activision, but he'll denounce Konami for not letting his bestest friend come to the 2015 Game Awards. Whatever. So I don't know how the PlayStation thing works. Where like, I bet PlayStation's like, yes, please Square Enix, please show us Final Fantasy VII Remake like on our thing. But like, do we really need a Sonic X Shadow? Like, I don't know how that works.
I wonder too if like there was an element of they paid Sony or whatever, how it worked, but they didn't know the PlayStation Showcase was going to happen the same day. Because I wonder. You never know, man. Like, all it takes is one missed email or someone didn't email the other and been like, fuck, we already said we're doing it on Thursday or whatever, Wednesday.
Right.
Fuck.
Although, despite the fact that
is that the
like
PlayStation Showcase where
the
Keanu Reeves thing's going to be in it?
Yeah,
fuck.
yeah.
Like it just, whatever. But yeah. That should have been on this. That should have been like to start the thing off, I think. Like, kick it off something cool. But, like, at the same time, I kind of get them just doing mobile games first for people who are tuning in late. They're like, yeah, no one gives a fuck. Yeah. Like, just keep it moving.
Exactly. Well, why don't we begin to dissect the entire thing in order? Because, yes, you're right. They did start off with mobile games. They started off with Sonic Rumble, which is their Fall Guys clone.
Which I'm interested in that.
Same.
On PC.
And the fact that it's on PC means we will play it. Because I really wanted to play Sonic Dream Team, which is an Apple Arcade exclusive, which means I gotta subscribe to that. Because, like, yeah, there's an Apple TV in the house here. I could play it on TV, and I could plug a PS4 or 5 controller into it and play as if it's a game console. Cool, but, like, I would like that to be on anything I play video games on. You know what I mean? We talked actually on a stream yesterday when we watched the State of Play, that Fantasian game with the cool dioramas and all that. That was on Apple Arcade game, and I was like, cool, I had that downloaded on my phone, never touched it, because I don't play games like that on my phone. I don't want to play Dream Team on my phone. I don't want to play Sonic Rumble on my phone. But you know who does? Kids. Little kids. They love playing games on their phones.
But are
all
they
the time.
watching this? Once again, are they watching this?
No, which is fair. Well, yeah,
Maybe.
they'll watch a YouTuber recap it, like us. Hey, since you're here on the YouTube channel, hit that like button, hit subscribe, please. We have children.
They probably already turned it off when we started swearing. They're like, "Mommy's gonna get mad at me for watching this."
Fair enough. But they're gonna stick around for Amy. Yeah, like the fact that it's on
Watch it
PC
on
is
mute.
great. Which also had me thinking, like, hey, why isn't it also on Switch? If you could charge $5 for that game on Switch, and you make a lot of money. You know what I mean? Because I guarantee it has like freemium, style stuff. But like, let's say it was also just $5, and there was still that shit on the Switch version. You can make a lot of money because kids love playing on Nintendo consoles. Yeah, and then if it's on Nintendo Switch, why not put it on Xbox and PlayStation as well? But at the very least, it's on PC, so normal people can play it. We'll give it a shot, right? Especially if it's going to be free. I assume it is.
I am interested in it because I liked Fall Guys, even though sadly I never won a game.
Oh, I won a couple.
I remember I got close and I didn't realize I had to grab the star. I thought I just had to touch it.
the
I
crown?
bounced off, or crown, whatever. And I got so tilted. I'm like, "Fuck this game, bro."
Yeah.
No one told me I need to press this button to grab it. Like they say, grab the crown, but I didn't think literally. I thought it's just like any other game. You touch it,
Right, like
touches
Mario.
The star.
You touch the star in Mario, and it literally says, you got a star.
I was
Mario
so
literally
mad.
says
and
that.
I never got closer, and I peaked. So we'll see if we play that. How great I am at it.
Last time I played Fall Guys was when the first Sonic costume was in the game, and
That's
I got
right.
the top half, and I was never able to get the bottom half, and then it like
They
went
did all
out
the
of rotation
Godzilla
or
stuff,
something.
and I'm like, I'm not good enough at this game. I think I deserve it.
Or like there was 2B
Yeah.
from Nier Automata. Yeah. But yeah, Sonic Rumble, more interested than any of the other mobile games, except for Dream Team, because that looks like an actual video game. Like, it looks like, oh, this actually might be fun, or at least to a degree, more interesting than Sonic Dash and Sonic Dash 2 and Sonic Dash Plus and Sonic Forces, which is actually a Sonic Dash game. They just call it Sonic Forces on mobile. Because, yes, after that, we got a bunch of updates for all the other mobile games. I mean, Sega Hardlight earlier in the day tweeted out, like, hey, there's going to be a lot of cool, exciting stuff from us. And it's like, here's some characters. You can play as Amy with donut bangles on her arms. And what if Shadow was like a Chinese warrior? I guess that's a cool outfit. But, like, it's in that gotcha style, like, here's our event characters, and I've gone through those types of games with the Fire Emblem one. There's the Final Fantasy VII one, which I had to say nope. You know what I mean? Like, there was the Nier mobile game. I know how this works. So they introduce all that stuff for the people that still pay money for that. Team Sonic Racing's non-team version, which is an Apple Arcade game called Sonic Racing. That's a mouthful. Got like a couple modes or something, a couple characters
I don't
or
remember.
something like
It
that.
wasn't.
It was one of those,
I think
like,
it was
here's
maybe
something
a new
easy.
track or something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah. And then, Sonic Dream Team has Shadow as a playable character, which, I mean, if that was on a console, then I would have known he wasn't there, because I'm like, why is he not in there? But, like, I think Rouge is. Like, no
Hell yeah.
offense, Rouge should be in it, but there's a hierarchy, and Shadow should be in there first.
No.
They can both be in there at the
Rouge should
same
be
time.
top. Rouge should be at the top.
Yeah, exactly.
Rouge should come out before Sonic.
Yes, should be called Rouge's Dream Team. Do you have any thoughts on all this mobile stuff?
I don't know. I don't play mobile games, man, and like I don't even know. Sometimes I forget these exist until you tell me or we watch this stuff. Like I'm like, oh, there's a Sonic Forces mobile game. Honestly, in my notes, I'm like, is this for the console version? Who's playing that still?
Right.
What do you
no.
do? Like, what do you actually do in the game?
It
Just
is
keep
Sonic
running
Dash.
through the same levels?
It's an endless runner. But I
Okay.
think
That
there's
sounds-
a multiplayer element on it now, because I thought there was the racing.
I thought it was
people,
like
but-
Sonic Forces, like the console one, where it's like, okay, once you beat it, and let's say you even get some high scores on the levels, like, what do you do?
Yeah, that's it. Well, because like when Sonic Dash came out, well, you and I were still in high school. I think it was senior year, 2013. I was playing it on my iPhone 5. That's how old we are, or how young we are.
I hope it's young. I hope it's young for your people
Well, if you're a
watching.
Sonic fan, I think statistically you're younger than us. If you would be watching this type of stuff, and welcome. Remember, hit the subscribe. We know you know how YouTube works. hit the subscribe button. There's a bell. Sonic Dash, I played that, and like, yeah. By the way, I don't think much has changed, which is crazy to me. But like,
This is not good, dude.
when
Don't
when
fix
Sonic
what's not broken.
when Sonic Boom came out in 2014-ish on the Wii U, or maybe that was 2015. I think it was 2014. They made Sonic Dash 2, Sonic Boom. And then when Sonic Forces came out, it was Sonic Dash Forces, and then I think they renamed it to Sonic Forces, or however it worked out. But it's just reskinning of those games still. And there used to be a Sonic Jump game too. That was like Doodle Jump that they used to have.
I feel like I remember that
they've
one.
tried so many different mobile games, and they die. And I think
you hear,
Sonic Dash is a formula that they enjoy still.
Did you, speaking of mobile games that are like that, did you hear that? What's it's called? It's coming back.
Flappy Bird is a crypto thing.
Flappy Bird.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
talked
he's
about
back.
this on a Stinky Platinum stream. Yeah, they
You happy he's back?
well, the original creator denounces it because they stole the trademark.
It's like a religion where like it's like a you had Christianity and then there's like a different
Yeah, here's the American
subsect of it.
Protestant that like
Yeah, it's
thinks
like, no, that is-
alcoholism kills you, or is like
Hey,
evil.
that is not. That's I denounce it.
Yeah.
That is heresy.
No, that guy never kept the trademark up because he had no intentions of bringing it back, and so another company
course.
decided to claim it, and then
But what if
and
it's
full of
good,
crypto?
though?
But it's full of crypto shit, Devin.
But what if?
Like-
But what if it was good? Would we support it? Would we still denounce it?
We would denounce it. Original creator literally delisted the game because he had guilt over how addictive it was for other people. So yes, we're gonna denounce that.
They need to do an Oppenheimer like style
About that
movie about
guy.
him. Yeah,
I think his name
where
is
he's like,
Dong
"What have I
Yin.
done?"
Dong Yen, I think was his name.
The movie
Yeah.
ends be like, "Did we just create the most addictive game of all time?
Yeah.
Yes.
Flappy Bird.
At what cost?"
So yeah, Sonic mobile games never as addictive as 2014's Flappy Bird, but they're still around. Next up, we had a montage of the Fearless Year Shadow thing. We alluded to it earlier. I want to point out, though, this is the very first Sonic Central to not have the Sonic Symphony be a big thing they're talking about. Instead, it was just a part of this montage. Yep, it happened.
Yeah. By the way, when they were introducing this, they said what the goal of Year of Shadow. I know we were talking about it earlier, but I forgot to mention it. Like they described like what the marketing like kind of. What is the buzzword we really want to do like with this? What's the goal we're trying to tell the fans? It's like, to live fearlessly, be true to yourself. And it's like, I don't feel like we got that from a motorcycle.
But he wrote
That
it
I
in
didn't
the
even
video
see.
game.
That I didn't
Yeah.
even see.
Yeah. Well, because I know they did like their little like marketing things on socials where it was like, okay, cool. We had a bunch of artists draw a quick Sonic, 4-panel comic thing or whatever, and like I think they did a bunch of that with the Shadow. That kind of graphic style of like the skater girl with Shadow. Like I've seen that type of stuff they've done earlier in the year, but like again, it's just like nothing. It's like so substanceless. You know what I mean? Like it's just
they're trying to market
there.
something that doesn't exist.
It's like a Sears clothing line commercial type of thing where it's like, I don't believe any of these kids wear these clothes or know each other. Like, you're not telling me a story. You're selling me the idea of going to your store, your Shadow the Hedgehog store.
Yeah. Well, if they did a like Rouge, year, maybe next year they should do that. They could. They could just, do all. I think you'll get a lot more fan art that way, and then you can really
think
tell
so.
people, hey, just be like Rouge, because you know what Rouge is like.
What would the
All
year
her-
of if the year of Shadow is called Fearless? What would the year of Rouge be, Devin?
But you already know what Rouge is about, so you don't need to say any
No.
adjective
What would
with
the
it.
year? What
It'd
would
be
the year of Rouge be? What
A
would-
bat.
What's a bat? The year of Rouge. All right, cool. The fans will really love it. Yeah,
And they
wild.
could retweet like some of the more not safe for work stuff on their Twitter.
Yeah. Exploring the other side of the fandom. They make fun of the fact that they know it exists but can't talk about it, sometimes.
Yeah.
Where like Sonic will be like, "Oh, I just Googled myself. I'm disgusted now," or whatever. I get it.
Yeah.
But yeah. Speaking about Sonic, hey, that's what this whole thing is about. After that, they said, "Oh yeah, we're doing," because they like doing these animated shorts. Chow Tales, 8 episodes of shorts on their social platforms. I imagine also on YouTube. So they're probably short enough to put up on Twitter and Instagram and TikTok, maybe. I don't know if there's a cap on how long a TikTok can be. You know that, if there is or not. Not
I think TikToks, it can be like, I think up to 10 minutes now.
Okay. And that's long enough for, I imagine, one of these shorts. And it's like, oh, Sonic visits a Chow Garden over the course of a year. So wait, you're implying that Sonic ages? Wait a second. He's watching children grow
That means
up?
inevitably
Sonic dies.
Yeah, which I don't know if the fans are ready for that.
Are we going to have like I don't watch the show and I actually think it's kind of really dumb. But are we going to have like a Naruto sequel series about his son? You know what I mean? Are we going to do that with Sonic, you know?
Sonic Jr., don't worry, guys. He's been replaced.
Dragon Ball has gotten to the point where, like, instead of having Dragon Ball be about, like, you know, one of Goku's many children, it's like, no, Goku and Vegeta got turned into children by magic, and now it's about them again. It's like, move on!
They got to do what they, what's his name, Mr. Peanut. They did at the Super Bowl a couple years ago,
my
where,
God.
like, they killed him off, like, a month before the Super Bowl, and then they brought him back as a baby, and they called it Baby Nut, and it was, like, so awkward and weird.
And they never continued that, right?
No.
Because they were like, oh,
he grew up.
the baby Yoda, the baby Sonic, the baby this, the baby that, the baby Nut. No one gives a shit. We don't care
Just
anymore.
so weird to say.
I refuse to call the baby Yoda
Who's
by
looking
his
up
name.
Baby Nut on Google, dude? Like, that's such a weird thing.
Yeah. Yeah. After that, Roblox shit again. This time you can fight Metal Sonic in their. I don't know if this is like an
He's
event
Super
thing.
Sonic. He's Super Metal Sonic at one point.
Super Metal Frontier Sonic or whatever. So they've had this before of like Roblox, Sonic Speed Storm, Sonic Speed something or whatever, Speed Zone. I don't know if that's like a thing you can always play on Roblox or if it comes in and out of fashion. I don't know for a fact, but yeah, it's got a boss fight now. And here's the thing. I've seen many a child play Roblox in my day, unfortunately. And I've seen official presentations that have Roblox footage in it. I have never seen that video game run performantly. What they showed officially looked and ran like dog shit. Why would I care? I understand it's a sweatshop to get children to make content for you, and you give them a penny for every $10 million you make off of these children's labor. I understand that's the fucked up thing that Roblox is all about. I get it. But, like, goddamn, you can't make that game look good? Sega can't make it look good?
Because people keep playing it and don't complain. So
I guess.
they just roll with it.
I don't know. Yeah, you interested in Roblox?
I never played Roblox. I don't intend to because I play the real version of that, which is Minecraft. Okay.
Still?
I mean, I would play it again if you want.
Okay. I play too much of Minecraft. I'm like, nope, never again. And now that I know that they're discontinuing support for PlayStation VR
I did
on
see
PS4,
someone did a 1-to-1 scale of New York City in Minecraft, and I low-key want to find how I can save that and just
my God.
explore New
That's
York
gonna
City.
be like a terabyte of data on your hard drive.
But it'd be sick to like play it. I think that's pretty cool. Someone should do the
Wild.
United States, and then you can really do a role play of like
Oh
your
my
own
God.
hometown.
Yeah, because it's theoretically infinite, right? So it is
Yeah, so you
theoretically
could.
possible. Yeah. Fallout USA. It's the entire Fallout.
But in Minecraft.
Speaking about Minecraft and Sonic, we had Sonic Rumble. That was their battle royale. Back before PUBG, when kids didn't know what to call the idea of a bunch of people fighting each other because they never played
Before
Halo.
it was called the Gamer Bridge, it was just a bridge.
Right. These kids used to get on custom servers in Minecraft and play Hunger Games.
That's right.
Yeah. All right, so Roblox, dog shit. You know what isn't dog shit? A genuinely good and fun franchise that people enjoy legitimately, and I say this as if I'm setting up for a punchline, but this isn't a punchline. Super Monkey Ball, a fantastic Nintendo GameCube started series. Super Monkey
you forgot
Ball.
to say Banana Rumble.
Banana Rumble is the newest game on Nintendo Switch. It is only on Nintendo Switch, which is weird. But yes, now Sonic has been in it. And so you're thinking, oh yeah, Fearless, Year of Shadow. You know what character they should add next? Shadow the Hedgehog. Psych! Instead of adding Shadow to the game, you get a Shadow costume for one of the monkeys. Granted, the monkeys are cute.
Who is getting this, dude? Like, who is...
But I know you can play as the
what
Yakuza
Super
guys in this
Monkey-
game.
What
but-
Super Monkey Ball fan is watching the Sonic Central and was like, yes, let's go.
Right,
I've been
right.
wanting this.
They would rather have the goofy idea of like, oh, like I guess Sonic fits in, but like I said, Kiryu from Yakuza or Like a Dragon is one, and he's a little tiny man in the ball. That's funny. So like, okay, yeah, I get it. I would pick that character if I was Super Monkey. Yeah, but like, I'm gonna play as an II character, one of the monkeys, but dressed as Shadow. I'm like, eh. What about the one that wears a Hawaiian shirt and doesn't have pants? I think that's funnier because he's just one of the guys, you know. But
One of the dudes.
yeah, it's in there. Oh, by the way, he's paid DLC, so he's not even free. If you have this,
So you have
Sega
to buy
pass,
the base game
Yeah.
and then get the
he's
DLC.
$50.
That's awesome.
No, I don't know how much he is. I bet he's like $2 or whatever because it's just an outfit. After that, the other game we talked about earlier, 2 Point Museum, gets Sonic crap.
So weird. It's not even like, hey, Sonic, like I said, is like like you're building a museum in Green Hill Zone and like there's Sonic themed things. Dude, give me a Sonic skeleton because we haven't seen that before. At least show me that. You can put Sonic, make it a Sonic exhibit. Here's Knuckles, Tails, and Sonic skeletons that you could prop up and be
Right.
wow, look at these prehistoric creatures here.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I'm not interested in these games. This type of genre is not really for me. I'd rather, in this type of genre, make roller coasters. You know what I mean? Like Thrillville or Sim Coaster, that type of stuff. I get it, and I really don't like the art style of the people in these 2 Point games. But they obviously sell because they keep making them, and Sega's the publisher. So
yeah. The only way I was going to say these, most specifically with 2 Point like Hospital, is I think it should actually be a game that is propaganda to show how like awful the healthcare industry is, and be like, hey, look, you get to pick and choose who dies at this hospital based off how much things cost.
Because your energy bill is too high. You need to pull some plugs.
Or just be like, there's 10 people, you have 10 beds, and there's 20 people trying to get in. Eesh. Who can you charge the most for? Okay,
to get them to how can you price them out?
Yeah.
Fuck. And of course, 2 Point Museum would then be about all the stolen stuff from Africa that's in the museum.
Or to be like, hey, you don't make much money at this museum. How long can you just stay open before? Like you're actually really trying to make like a really like educational museum, and it's like, hey, though,
oh my God,
property taxes are going up every year, and you're
and it's too hard. It's too expensive to afford to do it on the thing you actually did it for. But you know what sells? Sonic. It's kind of like when GameStops and bookstores started getting all these Funko Pop shit in them because that's what gets people in the door. But that's not why you started the store. You started the store to sell records at FYE, not to sell Funko Pops of Godzilla. No offense. You know what I mean? But like no one came, but like it gets stupid ass nerds in there. I'm sorry. If you buy a Funko Pop and you enjoy it, good on you. But you're
I only
a type.
have one Funko Pop, and it's my Alien Xenomorph because it actually looks like Alien, and I got it as a gift, and I do like that one.
And I'm not that much of a hater. I think that I got a lot of stuff people can make fun of. I got this guy. You can make fun of him. It's okay. I spent
you see that Corona
$40 on him.
Extra.
That was free, but like just that's the funny pitch of like, man, we really want to make this museum work, but the only way to get people in is like through stupid ass gimmicks. That's not even the point of teaching them history. Speaking about stupid ass gimmicks, next up we had this Lego skit that was a little entertaining.
I was gonna say,
Isaac actually made me chuckle a little bit.
He said action-packed.
Action-packed, yes.
And that's why I picked it, because it was the only good quote I liked from this entire presentation. No, I'll give him credit. I liked the skit. I thought it was cute. I liked the kind of fourth wall breaking they did with it. It was a lot better executed than the other jokes they attempted up until that point. Yeah, I liked that. That's how you do it. If you're going to do stuff like that, this is how you do it. So I failed to mention at the beginning of this episode how I talked about, like, I kind of like the Sonic 3 stuff, but the other bright spot was this Lego stuff. And Lego actually is for people our age, and there's people our age who collect that stuff, and I'm not going to do it, because even if I wanted to, I don't have the space to fucking build Legos in my
that little set of Shadow on the Motorcycle is on sale for $16. I saw Rario 64 tweet that. I actually thought, hey, is that worth it just to get the Shadow minifigure in and of itself? Maybe. here's just a failing of it. So he's fighting the Biowizard. That's a set. They didn't show it as one of the things. Like, I saw that later after, like, oh, yeah, so that is a set. Okay, thanks. But, whatever. I think it did go on a little bit too long because at the same time, yes, they did then start talking about Legos, but that was in their merch section, if that makes sense. So to me, it was just like, this was just a skit for the sake of a skit, but it did at least confirm to me that, like, hey, you should just have Roger Craig Smith and Mike Pollock host this. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I know you are the two heads of this brand, Ivo and Izuka, but maybe consider, like, more interesting people.
You can intro it, and then that's it.
And you can be interviewed by people. You had that interview lady. We'll talk about her in a second. Like, that's her. She did her job as e-news as she could. You know what I mean? Entertainment Weekly, she did it. You know what I mean?
E-news still around?
That's something.
God, that was always on after every late night news.
Extra.
Yeah. Because we always had late night with Diane Sawyer usually on.
Okay.
And then after that was E! News, and I was always bummed because I actually liked watching the news, and I thought Diane Sawyer was cool at the time, and I was like, oh great, here comes the who's dating who? Oh my god! And I'm like, who watches this shit, dude?
How many times is George Clooney gonna? Yeah, I know. So after the Lego thing, we went into merch. There's various merch. We actually started with a bunch of Legos. There was that shadow figure. Looks kind of neat. Probably pretty cheaply made and probably cheaply priced, to be fair. There was one thing I actually thought was cool, which it wasn't finished, was First Four Figures' shadow figure statue. First Four Figures makes expensive statuettes, and they look really cool. They've done a lot of Nintendo ones and then I'm like, okay, cool. That might be one I'd be like, oh yeah, if I had an extra $300, you know what I mean? Like, cool, like, to imagine, but like, that was a little neat. Was any merch stick out to you?
I honestly don't remember anything outside of that statue, but it did remind me of while I was in Japan, and we're going to do a Japan recap stream, hopefully.
It is
soon.
Sorry.
Or maybe
this is going out soon. No, this episode is going out soon. Sorry.
Yeah.
Some of our episodes are really early.
I was going to mention, I was shocked by the lack of Sonic, like, merchandise in general in Japan.
Really?
And I went to a lot of, like, anime, like, things where I saw Pikachu, I saw Dragon Ball, I saw all the other video game stuff you can think of. But, bro, Sonic be nowhere. Huh. I don't know what Sega's doing in Japan. Maybe no one cares about Sonic in Japan.
Maybe he's just selling out. Or you know what? Maybe they're making Rouge for Rouge.
The Bat Year of Rouge next year. So they sold out of everything of Sonic and Shadow because they know shit's gonna hit the shelves and it'll be gone quick next year.
Absolutely.
But no, I was thinking, I'm like, they must do a lot of just online merchandise. But like a lot of the Crane games, nowhere. And Sega owns half the fucking Cranes. Like, why isn't?
Yeah. Well, didn't Sega close down their actual arcade center too, or centers, which is unfortunate.
I don't know. I saw a lot that still were like, I saw Sonic like branded like coin machines where you can get new coins to go buy go play your Crane games or whatever, or get your gashapons. But like, yeah, there was no. I really found nothing. It was crazy, but we'll get in that more. But like at some point, but. Yeah, so it's all it reminded me of. I'm like, where was this shit in Japan when I was there? What the fuck? Like, even just Sonic versions of it or other characters, like, no.
Well, one thing that is legitimately cool to me that I would like to do, legitimately, as a team, you, me, and David, is Topgolf. I did not know it was more of like a hangout space with food. I thought it was just like, here's your little lane, and you hit the ball. I didn't realize it was like a box you rented.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Like, it's kind of like a weird like suite at like a sporting event, but you're the
when
one
they did that turnaround there. I'm like, oh my god! Actually, like, yes, the Sonic gaming angle. I don't know how that actually works.
I had a birthday party at one when I was like 3,
really?
And then I got upset about something. Probably something. I don't know. I think I realized I didn't like that as a kid. Because you're like, I don't know how to fucking hit a ball. like
Yeah.
5. But hey, we're mini golf pros. People don't
We
know this
are.
actually. We
We
are mini golf
are.
pros.
They've been renovating the mini golf place near me, by the way, the one that we
We gotta go then. Next time I'm there, I'm gonna have to pull up.
They tore
'cause
down the
I'm-
giraffe and put a sailboat up,
No, that's blasphemy.
and they painted the
How
rock
could
that
they?
the giraffe was on blue on the top, so that there's water for the sailboat to sit on. It's
What?
dumb.
When
It's
did they
dumb.
do this? Because I was just there not too long ago. Was this
It
like
was
recent?
this year.
Recent?
It was. I think over the summer. I think it was over the summer.
Maybe I just missed it then
Yeah.
when they started it. But that's crazy. What? The poor giraffe.
I
No one knows
know,
what we're
I
talking
know.
about. But
And I don't think they moved it anywhere. I think they destroyed it, or put it in a warehouse.
they should have auctioned that shit. I would have at least tried. I honestly, legitimately would have put like $1,000 on that fucking giraffe.
Where would you put it?
I don't know. I figured that out.
Because we're gonna make our own mini golf place at the Kmart across the street.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, yes,
goddamn
yes.
right.
Sonic movie show. Sonic movie show. Branded mini golf.
But yeah, no, this Sonic Top Golf thing, I don't know how this works. I imagine there's a
think
screen
you
you look at to see the thing. But like the idea of like you hit the ball and it lands in one of the holes and then therefore Sonic runs in that direction. Like I don't know how it works. But I'm very interested, and just even taking the Sonic stuff aside, now that I know what Top Golf is a bit of like, I'm sure it's not cheap at all. But the idea of like, cool, we're going to
Yeah,
rent out
from
this
what I know,
room
it's
for a
not.
day or a few hours, however long it is, that seems fun enough in and of itself. And then like, the Sonic element on top. What I would legitimately do is I'd be like, hey, I have a capture card. Can I like just intercept the signal to the TV here and just capture this footage, please and thank you? We got a YouTube channel going on. Otherwise, we'd be tripoding a camera right at the TV, or however it works. Maybe a vertical monitor.
But
they
yeah, I
might
do
have,
Top Golf.
but-
I'm not a big
looks like
golf
fun.
fan because
But you're just
I feel like
driving. You know what I mean?
just- I see
Lit-
that, yeah, so-
literally driving.
I would love to see you and David though. I don't know. I'm not saying I would have great form either. Like, because you're actually launching these things when you do actual Top Golf, right? Like your goal is to see how far you can hit it and how
Yeah.
accurate. You know what I mean? It's not mini golf where we're just tapping
Right.
the ball.
We're just messing around.
I would love to see both of you see what
I
your
used to
form would
play
be.
golf. I know how to
Really?
hold the golf club. You got to interlock your fingers there. You got to interlock.
It's all about in the hips. People don't know it, but it's all about the hip
That's
action.
why Trump is so good, because he's got a lot of momentum when he swings his damn hips. Next up on the program, Sonic X DC Comics. That's right. They had that Batman
for
little animation.
2025. But hey, guess what? Breaking news. It's also 2026.
We're not going to tell you what any of that means, but like, oh my God, the party just got started. I want to make fun of her. She did her job well. But like, that's that. Why? What does that mean? It sounds like, this is what it sounds like. Okay, so they announced like, what was it, 6 characters, 5 characters? There's Knuckles as Superman, Shadow as the Flash, Shadow as Batman, sorry. Sonic as the
was
Flash. Cyborg is Tails. Silver is Green Lantern, and Amy is Wonder Woman. I would love if...
And Rouge should have been, come on, dog. Like, Rouge
I'm
should
going to
have
tell
been
you right
Wonder
now,
Woman.
they should have swapped Knuckles and Amy, so Knuckles should have been Wonder Woman and Amy should have been Superman. I think that would have been very funny. And actually, like, not just having
Yeah.
the one girl be the one girl on the Justice League, you know what I mean? But anyway, and actually you know what this ties into?
Yeah.
There's an old comic book panel that people like to point out to is for fun, where Batman is like his head smashing on the ground. He's laying down, and Wonder Woman's boot is on his head. But it looks like Amy's boot. So I've seen enough fan art of people expanding that out to be Amy. Well, now she is Wonder Woman. But here's how I interpret this. What they said. Okay, that's 6 characters. So for 6 months, there's a one-shot Superman Knuckles, a one-shot Batman Shadow. Then they're going to put them all in a trade. You know what I mean? A paperback trade. And then obviously a lot of merch of the characters. But so then what are they going to do after that? Because I saw on Twitter, the person who made that animation, him and his wife did it in 2 days. They're like, we really had to rush, but it was such fun to do. So it's not like they're planning a TV series or anything like that. What do they mean? It's just a bunch of merch?
But they made it seem like there's just more of the comics. And maybe it's just they have 10 in total, let's say, for each character, comics plan, but the first 5 come out next year, and then the next 5 come out the following year.
Comics
So
aren't easy to make, I know. They take time.
And I feel like there's a lot more now, for the comic book industry is like they try to make the variant covers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I'm sure there'll be different variants, but then then there's going to be like the book that you can get all of them all in one book in case you miss any of the comics.
Yep.
But yeah, this is just like a one-shot thing. I feel like I've seen this a lot. I know they did one for like Planet of the Apes, and I got all 5 of them. I didn't get like every single cover. I just got 5 of them because I was like, cool, I'll get the set. And but they just do that one shot, and then they'll maybe wait a year to maybe do more, or they'll just do something else with it with the franchise, right? So I feel like that's what we're getting with it.
I feel like
I'll try to get one because I like going to the comic store once in a great while.
You know what? As someone who looks down upon the Sonic comics, I'll get these because they're real comics.
Yeah,
I'm saying this in jest. Although I do have no interest in the Sonic comics, I don't think they're worthless. You can enjoy them. But this is a weird crossover. But one that I feel like they would have done before. It's like it didn't seem like it was like, oh yeah, why not have Sonic?
It makes sense. DC, I feel like DC's last couple, decades has not been opposed to like doing weird crossovers. I know they just did a Justice League versus Godzilla and Kong to promote.
They did Justice League versus Rooster Teeth's Ruby. You know what I mean?
So like they're not afraid to like just do a weird one-off thing, and push it. So I'm not surprised on the DC Comics end, but I guess I'm a little surprised on the Sonic end. But yeah, I guess Sonic comics have been around enough that why not cross it over a little bit and just see it. But I feel like it's definitely for Sonic fans more so than
of course
a DC fan. I mean, unless you're like a DC comic collector who gets all these weird one-off things, like you'll get this, but I don't think the Superman
can't imagine
fan...
being a comic book collector is lucrative in like a value proposition of selling them later. Like the reason why there's so many variants is because at one point they realized that comic books were a thing people were hoarding and they had value. So like, cool, now here's a variant. So now there's 2 things to buy. But then it became now there's 4 variants of everything. And like, I follow enough artists on Twitter that do these variant covers. I'm like, your art of this character is cool. I'm glad you got paid to do this cover. But like, it has no value to me as like, why would I buy 2 versions of the same comic, if that makes sense? I can see your art on Twitter. Anyway, so that was the DC Comics and Sonic crossover. Now we're in the meat. There's some protein on the plate.
The main course meal or whatever, because
at least that's what was proposed
this point was appetizers
at the venue. Sonic X Shadow Generations. We got them to remind us that the game exists. We saw more Shadow cutscene type stuff. You got to see Maria.
It was a story trailer, which
we had it looping at the beginning of this whole thing here. If you watched on YouTube, again, there's a bell. You click the bell, and then the next time we do anything, and buddy, I schedule streams in advance. You're gonna get a notification when I do that. All right, you're gonna hit that bell, and then you're gonna hit the thumbs up on this video. You're gonna comment down below. I did what you asked, Ethan and Devin. You're welcome.
And then I can't wait for the bat. Year of Rouge.
Yeah. It seemed fine. I will say this. I was not expecting, when they first announced this whole game itself, I was expecting the Shadow stuff to be of the same graphical fidelity as the Sonic Generation stuff, and it seems to kind of be the case. Again, this has to scale down to the Switch, which it has a little bit more oomph and wiggle room than the Xbox 360 and PS3 do, for sure, but it ain't up to snuff with the Steam Deck or a PlayStation 4, right? So, like, it has to scale down to that, but, like, I'm looking at, like, the graphics of this aren't that great, though. But we're zooming in on a game where the textures have to be low-res because they have to be long enough because you're sprinting through them, so whatever. The story seems to be very basic. It's got the Time Eater guy from Sonic Generations is now sent Shadow in the past, so now Shadow has an excuse to run through his famous levels. We got to see Mephiles. He killed Sonic in Sonic 06. People pointed out he does that move on Shadow, and Shadow dodges it because he's not a wuss. You know what I mean? He knows how to jump out of the way of a glowing finger or whatever Mephiles does.
I did like the beginning of it, him punching Black Doom when he's in octopus form. It just looked so funny to me because I'm just like, I just imagine, I don't know, fighting an octopus is like kind of funny, just generally speaking, because it's like they're gooey. I don't know if it really hurts them that much. I'm assuming it does, but maybe not in the same way it does for us more solid animals.
Yeah, I bet they don't
when
have
I
too
punch
many
you,
nerves in them. Yeah.
But I feel like when I punch them, it's like punching, I don't know, like Jello. Like you're gonna do
Right.
some damage, but
Like
it's
they're
like
catching for the most part your blow, right?
yeah. So
know.
him punching Black Doom, I just thought about how goofy that is, like aesthetically. I'm just like, does that hurt Black Doom? It kind of looks funny. I imagine it's wet though, very like
Yeah.
wet, like, but like space wet. However that works, more
Right,
moistury, you know.
like acidic. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I have a take.
Prometheus almost vibes, you know, like
Well,
the
and then
spores.
that
kinda.
shadow dissolves into the ocean. And then mankind is created because he's the ultimate life form.
Right.
I have a take. I hate the fact that I just said I have a take, but I have a
Folks, he has a take.
take. It's an opinion, and I'm sure I'm sure it will change as we play the game. I don't see this new voice of Shadow being all that effective in its serious moments. We love the Sonic Twitter takeovers because Shadow's very goofy. Yes, I'll marry you. That's funny because of the seriousness. But like, I don't know, him saying like, yes, I am a warrior of your destruction or whatever. It's like the way this voice is doing it feels corny in a way that isn't. I don't know, but we've seen a montage in a trailer. You know what I mean? It's not the same thing.
As I'm saying, it could be how it's cut.
Yeah.
I'm always same with movie trailers. We've seen sometimes we are right where it's like, wow, that sounds cringy in the trailer, and then it is cringy. But there's been other times when we're like, oh yeah, we heard that joke in the trailer, but it landed better in the actual movie.
Within the pace, the timing, and the context. Yeah. I wanted to throw that out there.
I'd rather it be like that than he just doesn't talk at all, and it's not as cool.
Shadow the silent protagonist, but Shadow the silent protagonist would definitely speak with a gun, if you know what I mean. Shoot first, ask questions
bullets.
never. After that, is there anything else you want to talk about with the Shadow Generations? Sonic
When does it
X?
come out again? October 20 something?
7th, I think. But we'll be getting the deluxe things. We'll be getting it like 3 to 5 days early. So we'll be streaming that whenever that is.
We'll be streaming that,
but
right?
it is mid to late October is when the game
Just in
comes
time
out.
for Halloween.
Yeah.
I did see Sonic the Hedgehog. I sent you a text of it. Costume at Spirit Halloween.
Oh my God.
I don't want to pay for it.
You want them to send it to us.
I want to send it to us, but I didn't want to pay the price that it's currently at. But I'm hoping maybe because usually Spirit, after Halloween does some liquidation.
They need to clear those spaces that they rented.
I'm hoping there's one there, just one left. Because that was the adult one, by the way. There was a kids one in the kids section, but this is in the adult section for us adults. I don't know if it's my height, but I'll try my best. But I'm like, if I can get that, that opens the door for some stuff on the streams. Maybe Sonic can make an appearance.
Well, just dye your hair blue. I mean, I get requests all the time to have you dye your hair blue and be Sonic.
That's so weird. Why don't they just say it to me?
Because
that's weird.
You're not approachable. You're kind of cold and standoffish, Devin.
Sorry.
After Sonic X Shadow Generations, they wanted to remind us that yes, just like always, they did more small animations. Sonic X Shadow Generations Dark Beginnings is a 3-part series of animated shorts.
It's weird. Why don't they just remaster Shadow the Hedgehog and tell them, here's your animated shorts, you can fucking play it.
Right, as a pre-order bonus, yeah. And for whatever reason, and these are on their YouTube channel and all their socials, but for whatever reason, like, oh yeah, if you buy the game on PlayStation, they're going to be on the disc and longer.
They're extended, which tells me it's like, is this like a director's cut version of it, where it's like this is the original vision? Actually, this is the true.
This is the M-rated version where Shadow's holding a gun in a couple frames. You know what I mean?
They don't show it fully; they just show him putting the hand on the trigger, but they don't show the gun itself.
Right. It could be anything.
It's implied.
Yeah, you know what? Never watch these. I guess I'm part of the problem. However, I will say this.
Should we react to them?
Here's what I'll say. This looked very interesting and much cooler than any of the other shorts that they've shown before, like the Rise of the Color Wisps and the Frontiers thing with Knuckles and this and that. This looked cool and action-packed, and I will say this, as I watched that edited trailer for the thing.
It has more of an anime style to it.
and it was they were 3D models. Did you catch that? But it was the really well done, because I'm sure you've seen anime with 3D models that look like shit. This was done really well. And I had the thought, and I understand scope and price and budget. Well, that's what I mean by price, but budget and scope and all that. But why the hell was like Sonic Prime not looking like this? Why isn't there a regular Sonic cartoon that looks like this? Because I saw that and I'm like, actually, hold on a second.
It's the Year of Shadow.
If this was a real show, I would watch it. We didn't watch Sonic Prime because it's just not really our bag. I get people like it, but like I look at a lower budget CG animated, cartoon like that, and I'm like, there's a lot of empty space. I remember watching a Batman one that was like that. I'm like, wow, Gotham City has no one in it because
that
it's
one
expensive.
should have been on YouTube, and you're saying this one should have been on Netflix, kind of like.
I'm saying expand this out to a TV show because this looks
well,
cool.
Ethan, if we watch it and support it, maybe they will.
Maybe.
But since you pre-ordered that too on PlayStation, you're gonna get the extended edition before anyone else.
Absolutely. You know what? We're gonna stream it. Will be illegal.
Do we have to watch? Do we have to watch the other ones, or are the same ones that are going on YouTube?
I think it's the same ones going
are just
up.
extended.
I think it's just I think they're all packaged together and extended on the PlayStation.
So we shouldn't watch them because we're gonna watch the extended shorts.
Actually, I bet if we were to stream these extended things on PlayStation and put it on the YouTube channel, we would get flagged by them because, god damn it, you're supposed to buy the game to watch these. And they already put the other ones on YouTube.
But we're reacting to it.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I'm not against it. Yeah, it's cool, whatever. And then this was a skit that was interesting and goofy in theory, but went on too long, and for what it is, was useless to me. If you bought the physical version of Sonic X Shadow Generations, it came with a little booklet in it that's supposed to be Gerald Robotnik's journal. Cool. They did a very Zoo Books-esque late 90s, early 2000s infomercial. I appreciate how they did it.
Zoo Books was fire, though.
Even the fact that at the very end they said, give it to a child you love, that is straight up what Zoo Books was. I swear they said that phrase.
It's for someone's grandma to see and be like, oh, my kid loves the zoo. He goes to zoo camp.
Exactly.
And then I got the Zoo Books. It was so fun.
I never wanted the Zoo Books, but I enjoyed the commercial as a kid. It's weird to say.
I got Zoo Books, and then I got what was it, National Geographic Kids, which to this day, some of those like covers like are ingrained in my head because whoever did the art was actually really good. There was one that I always remember. I remember the whole magazine pretty much. I gotta look this up to see if I can find it online, like a PDF or something.
And it's a girl in a bikini.
She's a 10. She's a 10. It was like, it was supposed to be like what the future will look like, and it was all like showing, like the art was all like kind of, obviously just like futuristic stuff, but like they were trying to really like be like realistic. Like, here's what we think we'll have by year 2000 or 2050 or whatever, and like I just really remember it and like being so excited as a kid to be like, yes,
we're gonna be awesome.
Yeah, we're gonna have like a virtual like magazine or like what I mean, like what's the word? Like they're see through, but like it's a like a holographic
right.
magazine, and like you'll be able to read this magazine as a kid, like in the future.
LOL, you're gonna read it on your phone.
Yeah, and it's like not as cool. But no, I just remember that
actually
magazine.
Sucks.
Sorry, random tangent, but I just had a brain.
Well, I'm glad that this little skit that went on for way too long, because I'm sure it would cost them money to do it, and they just kept going. But I'm glad that brought something out of you, because to me it was like, oh, cool. I won't read that. And then after that, here's the thing. I don't remember how the other Sonic Centrals ended, but I feel like they ended how this one looked like it was going to end, with them being like, well, and that was that. So goodbye, and then it ends. But this time they actually did a one more thing, and it was, the Sonic movie. Thank God.
And it was some random guy.
Yeah, I'm going to put him in the thumbnail. I already had that thought.
Okay.
He's going to be in the thumbnail.
Shout out to that guy. He did his job.
Yeah, he did his job. Then we had Jeff Fowler looking rushed as hell, out of breath. Maybe that was take number 3 because obviously he's not an actor. I don't know. He seemed like really rushed, or maybe they told him you need to have this under 30 seconds because it's got to be on.
And they
TikTok
gave him bullet
something.
points or whatever.
Yeah.
I liked his boots. I want to know where we can get those.
Oh,
He
the
got
giant
Sonic
blow up
shoe.
Sonic shoes, and yeah, the giant
Yeah.
blow up Chow things, which I'm sure were literally
Because I would wear them
those
for
characters
these
in the movie.
recordings, but like no one would know. But like it'd be our secret.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Oh my God, imagine you and your beloved going to Friendlies. You're sitting at that diner and you're both wearing the shoes, playing footsies with each other. You know what I mean?
Playing footsie, this is just a lot of like
Big padded-
squeaky noises. It's like,
Yeah. Well, they didn't show too much that it was new. It was just explanation, like you said. We're gonna do an episode on what we predict the movie will be like based off the footage we've
the
now
biggest
seen.
takeaway for me from what he actually said, and because most of the scenes were the same, just in a different order, and he just kind of shared like what was Sonic's growth in each movie, and he said in this one he's specifically more of a leader. You know, he's the Iron Man, the Captain America of his squad. I feel like that's like the big takeaway that we,
And
like you could maybe get that idea from the trailer, but like I probably wouldn't have like gone that deep into it. But if that's what he's saying is the goal, then cool. That's some new information for us.
I'm gonna give myself a little bit of credit when he said like, oh, and he's gonna have to be making hard choices and learning what the right ones are. You do get a little bit of that in the trailer. There's a part where
Yes.
Tails is like, are you sure you want to do this? And Sonic's like, yes. And I feel like that is him deciding, and we'll talk about this later. I think that's Sonic deciding that like, I'm going to take on Shadow alone. And then that's when you get the, what did you do? And Shadow says, what I had to. I think that is a part of that. But
We got to do what
yeah.
we got to do, and they're gonna go to space with
I have a theory on
the
what
Fast
Shadow's
and
goal is
Furious
in that movie.
crew.
We'll talk about that in that episode. If you want to make sure you don't miss that episode, the bell. Click it. You don't need to smash the
B-E-L-L.
bell, but I want it clicked. Okay.
Don't
So,
smash it. We only have one.
yeah, and you all have to share it. Right now, there's not many of you to share it, but you have to share
I
it.
just realized hitting the bell, like, sounds like some weird like hotel service where like we're not at the desk right now. Please, please
Yeah.
hit the bell, please. And then what?
At least we're not corny enough to say ring the bell. You know
Ring
what I
the
mean?
bell.
You
Shake
just-
that bell.
Exactly. Shake that bear. Anything else you want to talk about with Sonic Central 2024?
Do we want to? We should have been ranking these. That just knowing what we do.
They're
we
all the
should
same.
Tier rank.
They're all the same. This is the best one because they actually had the movie represented. Because I swear the other ones, if to my knowledge, we have the list.
I mean, 2023. They
They
did
reminded
do,
us that the movie was out, right?
They did do. No, they didn't. Did they do? They didn't do anything.
They didn't
about
do anything for
Knuckles.
Knuckles, no. Well, because we now know in hindsight that Knuckles show sucked ass, so they were probably like, let's just try to sneak it out the gate.
Yeah, I'm
But
trying
yeah.
to look at the other ones. They haven't. So I guess this is the first time they talked about the movies and showed stuff about the movies. So we'll give them credit for that. I liked their Lego skit, like I said. And then I guess the animated shorts seem kind of cool, but it's not something I'm gonna like remind myself to watch necessarily. I'm like, I think if we play the game and we'll watch it then probably. Yeah, I don't know. It's yeah. Once again, I keep asking, who is this for? Like, if you have multiple target audiences, I don't know if you're doing a good job necessarily on that. I think they really need to like I like the Lego skit. I think if you're gonna do like, hey, these tie-ins, if it's stuff that's actually to me things that I can purchase just by itself, do that. I don't think we need to know about the Roblox Metal Sonic thing or the Super Monkey Ball. You know what I mean? Like, that's an email. That is an email in your newsletter that I'm signed up for because I signed
Right.
up so I can get the Santa hat or whatever the fuck for Sonic Frontiers. I get those emails. I do check them because I'm a real Sonic fan. I check them. I hope they see that open rate. 1% of it is me.
Boggles my mind that that's a thing.
It is. Yeah,
If I open up a letter from my mailbox, do they know that?
I feel like I'd rather this be shorter, but like stuff that actually to me matters and not just
Yeah.
feels like filler. Because a lot of this is filler. Like probably 80% of this was filler
Yep.
this time around, and it was the longest one. At least
Yep.
that 10-minute one in 2022. Like, yeah, we probably don't care about much of it, but at least hey, the Sonic Symphony. and Sonic Frontiers was shown in that 10 minutes. So the other stuff that is filler doesn't feel as much like filler because it's just like, cool, whatever.
Yeah, we're
A lot of
in
this
and
was
out.
a lot of this was filler, and I think Sonic Movie 3 should have been the main topic in this, and it should have been with either cast members. Okay, you have Jeff Fowler on, have him sit down and talk with whoever's hosting it, whatever it is. Either do like a Q&A, maybe do them playing Sonic's X Shadow Generations. While they're playing it, they're getting interviewed questions, like they're doing quick questions. What's the word I'm looking for?
Q&A.
Not like a Q&A, but it's like 100 fast questions, or
Okay.
I don't know what the word. There's a word for it. God, I think IGN always does those where they ask like
That was Game Informer that used
Game
to do
Informer.
those. I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking
Rapid
about.
fire. That's the word I'm looking for. Rapid fire style while they're playing Sonic X Shadow Generation. So you get them talking about what the game they're playing, but then they have to, off the top of the dome, be like, oh yeah, we really loved filming, blah, blah, blah. One of my favorite scenes was, without getting any spoilers, was blah, 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 blah. I really liked this, or I like
Yeah.
how we did this one set and they did such a great job. Talk about that stuff. Get people more interested in the movie instead of, hey, this is what Shadow's doing, and thank you to the fans. Like, yes, that's good. That part still could have been at the end of whatever Sonic movie segment you're doing. I don't know. I just feel like this is a missed opportunity to, like, promote your movie and the game and focus on those two things. Like, if it's 27 minutes long,
Make it worth it.
15 minutes should have been about the movie
Yeah.
in different facets, do different chunks, 5-minute chunks of something particular, whether it's just Jeff Fowler or whatever. I don't know. I just feel like this is a really missed opportunity, and it's making me be like, every time these come up, I feel like we're just shitting on it. I don't want to shit on it. I really
Yeah.
don't. Like, I want
And,
to be
like,
excited about something.
On the one hand, I get it. There's a lot of Nintendo Directs out there. PlayStation has two different types. Xbox does their own. This company does that. This company, Square, at once tried to do that. Like, everyone wants to try to do this, like, talk directly online on YouTube, essentially, to their fans, to their customers, right? And Sonic Central is at least uniquely positioned to be more than just games and like TV shows or movies or whatever. It is also all of the merch and all of the collaborations. Like, Ivo is in charge of the brand. So when he says partnerships, like, I'm seeing it through his eyes of like what a partnership to him means, which is like collaboration with money. You know what I mean? Like, I don't personally care about that, but like, I will give them at least credit. This is an angle that you don't really see from this type of thing. It is at least yearly, because imagine if they did it quarterly, dude, or monthly. You know what I mean? Like, wasn't 2020 or 2021 supposed to be a Sonic thing every month? And they just like stopped that because the pandemic was killing everyone. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're like, yeah, we might not survive, but
All right,
you
let's
might not. No
focus
one's going to
on-
be watching
Yeah,
anything in end of
exactly.
the year because
we
all
can't
might
film
be dead.
anything because no one has any work from home stuff set up because we all live in offices or whatever. Although there is a merit to collaborating in a space, but anyway, there's at least something to Sonic Central. I get it. We do expect more at this point. I don't know what
Yeah,
we can
this
hold
isn't
this
their, like,
collateral
their
over them
first
because we can't make
one.
demands, but
Yeah, this isn't the first one, and you've seen, like, even the first couple Nintendo Directs were kind of awkward or weren't executed perfectly. Now they have a recipe, and for me, it's not for me, but like I know what their target audience is, which is,
Right.
hey, the gamers. You're watching this. Like, yes, they'll still have their weird product placements in it, but they're few and far between because they have fucking the new Mario game coming out, and here's
they have shit to show.
in-depth shit about it. But yeah, this is like I think they have the pieces there. They just got to know how long to show each piece, and then they need to execute better on just how you're pushing those pieces.
I think we look at we made appalled, confused, reaction to the fact that the Sony State of Play, PlayStation State of Play, had new information about the one video game. Okay, I guess there's the mobile game stuff, but like the new video game that they want to charge for $60, like the I was in that, and it wasn't in
Keanu
this.
Reeves is going to be in it.
Right. I think it actually kind of maybe goes to show of like how they're not that confident on Sonic Central being a platform that reaches an audience and maybe matters. But you know how you get it to that point? you make it start to matter. You know what I mean? That very first Nintendo Direct mattered a hell of a lot because guess what? They said we're not doing an E3 presentation. We're just doing this instead. And like,
It's
oh, I guess we got to tune in.
A lot
and
cheaper.
like, you know, well, Nintendo themselves has had technical failures before on E3 stages that are embarrassing. We're like, gee, the Wii remote can't find the sensor, can't find the console. The Bluetooth is being blocked by other cell phones in the, you know what I mean? And so Miyamoto looks like an idiot. Like, yes, we're going to go to a pre-recorded thing now. Thank you very much. You know what I mean? Like, Sonic Central needs, if they want this, I actually thought it was dead because they didn't do one in June or whenever around the time they did them historically.
My sense of time is clearly broken because I swear 2023
It was like a month ago that we played Rust a whole lot, Devin. You know, I feel
know. Don't even.
Inside joke. But you want to be more on the inside of our jokes? Hit that bell and then like and subscribe.
Now they're going to unhit that bell. They're like, this guy keeps saying the bell. They're going to be like...
All right, well, if I say it an odd number of times, then it wraps back around, right?
It does, yes.
Okay.
They're like, I feel bad now.
Oh, I don't know how many I did it. You know what?
I think it was 4 or 5. I don't know.
Hit the bell.
Just
yeah. So I think we're on agreement. We want more. But we're also okay with them just not doing it at all. And that's kind of the sad reality of Sonic Central. Maybe that's the title of this episode. The sad reality of Sonic Central 2024.
Sonic Central isn't needed. Yeah. No, I mean, like, I think if you're going to do that little spiel with Jeff Fowler, that could have been its own separate YouTube video or just even just a social, something you put on Instagram as a reel for 30 seconds. And you're like, cool, great, I like it. I'm like, yeah, I'm excited again. Then you move on. But there's not, when you do something like this, I feel like there's this expectation because of all these other companies, like you said, are doing these bigger things, making it matter, that when you do these things, you come away disappointed because you're like, oh, but if it was a social media video that's 45 seconds, it was cheap to make probably, and then you're like, oh, cool, yeah, I'm excited for the movie. And then you don't have a negative reaction to it.
I would have rather have watched Ben Schwartz, Colleen Chazonnet, Idris Elba, and Keanu Reeves build Lego versions of their Sonic characters at a table while talking about the movie than this. Even if they didn't mention anything of note, it would at least have been entertaining in a way that, like, telling me about Jack Specific's new toy isn't, if that makes sense. Anyway,
right.
I think we're in agreement. So that is that. Folks, you all know the drill here. I said it many a time, but we're the Sonic Movie Show, a podcast on YouTube primarily. Please watch us there. If you're already here, comment below what you thought about Sonic Central 2024. You don't need to press the bell, but you do need to like and subscribe. We're also on podcast platforms like Apple Music and Spotify, so please, if you drive a car, take us with you there. It works out. You can also take us with you on your phone in a visual format of text in Instagram, Threads, TikTok, and Twitter. Hit us up. We're at Sonic Movie Show on everywhere you're at for the time being. My name has been Ethan. Devin is down there in the down there part. Sometimes people refer to the comment descriptions as the down there part in YouTube videos. I always felt kind of stupid. But what else do you call it?
It feels weirdly like gothic though, like kind of like, oh, he's from the down there, like some sort of horror thing.
I see the act of talking like that as like a Sesame Street kind of thing of like, it's in the down there part. Anyway, we'll see you later. As always, we like to end this show with Ivo out.